The 1990s launched thousands of bands into superstardom, with record labels throwing millions at the next big thing. But massive sales and radio saturation did not always equal lasting impact. Here are 10 overrated 90s bands that completely disappeared. Number 10. Hootie and the Blowfish. Over 21 million copies sold in the United States alone. Cracked Rear View became one of the best-selling albums of all time after its 1994 release, making the South Carolina quartet absolutely inescapable on MTV and rock radio. Hold My Hand, Let Her Cry, and Only Wanna Be With You saturated the airwaves for nearly 2 solid years. But critics and music fans quickly dismissed them as the safest, blandest version of rock possible, corporate-approved mediocrity with zero edge or artistic vision. By the early 2000s, they had completely vanished from rock relevance. Follow-up albums failed to replicate their initial success, and the band went on indefinite hiatus in 2008. Frontman Darius Rucker found greater success reinventing himself as a country solo artist, winning a Grammy for Wagon Wheel, and joining the Grand Ole Opry. That pivot tells you everything about Hootie's rock credibility. They became a punchline, the poster children for boring 90s dad rock that overstayed its welcome. Number 9. Spin Doctors. Pocket Full of Kryptonite went 5 times platinum after its 1991 release, propelled by the relentlessly catchy singles Two Princes and Little Miss Can't Be Wrong. MTV played their videos in constant rotation, and the New York Jam Band briefly seemed poised for long-term success. They dominated alternative rock radio and became one of the decade's biggest breakthrough acts, selling over 5 million copies of their debut. But music critics quickly dismissed them as jam band light with no substance beyond radio-friendly hooks. Their 1994 sophomore album Turn It Upside Down underperformed dramatically, exposing how thin their appeal actually was. They largely disappeared from mainstream consciousness, becoming shorthand for shallow 90s nostalgia despite technically having 2 significant hits. Their legacy settled into a cautionary tale about the gap between a catchy chorus and a lasting career. Number 8. Savage Garden. Over 20 million albums sold worldwide. The Australian pop duo of Darren Hayes and Daniel Jones dominated top 40 radio with massive hits like Truly Madly, Deeply, I Want You, and I Knew I Loved You. 2 of those singles reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100.
I wanna stand with you on a mountain. I wanna
Their saccharine ballads and polished production made them international superstars, particularly in the United States where teen girls obsessed over Hayes' dramatic vocal delivery. Music critics consistently panned them as manufactured bubblegum pop completely lacking artistic credibility or substance. They broke up in 2001 after releasing just 2 studio albums.
like your eyes, I see my future in an instant.
Despite public perception at the time, it was actually Daniel Jones who wanted out, disliking the demands of touring and public life. Hayes launched a solo career that produced a moderate debut, but quickly faded from the mainstream, with Columbia Records eventually dropping it.
I wanna live like this forever.
The duo represents everything people mock about late 90s disposable pop, all surface-level emotion and studio polish with nothing underneath. They disappeared as quickly as they arrived.
I know that I might seem more than a little.
Number 7. Bush. Despite selling over 10 million albums in the United States and dominating alternative rock radio throughout the mid-1990s, the British quartet was mercilessly criticized as blatant Nirvana copycats. 16 Stone went 6 times platinum, and Razorblade Suitcase also went multi-platinum, with songs like Glycerine, Machine Head, and Come Down in endless MTV rotation. Frontman Gavin Rossdale became an alternative rock heartthrob, and they seemed destined for lasting impact. But American music journalists particularly despised them, viewing Bush as cynical grunge profiteers who appropriated Seattle's sound for commercial gain without any original ideas.
Could have been easier on you. Couldn't change all I wanted to.
By the early 2000s, they had completely disappeared from cultural relevance, disbanding in 2002. Rossdale became more famous for marrying Gwen Stefani than for his music. They reformed in 2010 but generated minimal impact, proving their initial success was pure timing rather than talent.
Got a machine head, spelling the rest, green to red, machine head.
The grunge era's most overrated opportunists who rode Kurt Cobain's coattails straight into obscurity. Number 6. Ace of Base. The sign sold 9 million copies in the United States alone, earning diamond certification. It became the #1 album of 1994 on the year-end Billboard 200 chart. The Swedish quartet's infectious Europop dominated radio with The Sign, All That She Wants, and Don't Turn Around saturating top 40 playlists. Their debut spent multiple weeks at #1 on the Billboard 200, making them the most successful European pop debut of the early 1990s. Critics dismissed them as disposable Europop with repetitive drum machines and vapid lyrics. After their initial wave of hits between 1993 and 1995, they vanished from American radio entirely. Follow-up albums failed to make any impact in the US market. They became a retro 90s nostalgia act with zero cultural footprint, remembered only for 3 songs that briefly dominated before everyone collectively realized how shallow the music actually was. The band essentially ceased meaningful activity by the late 90s. Before we continue, which of these bands did you actually defend back in the day? Did you own Cracked Rear View on CD or jam out to Two Princes in your car? Drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. Number 5. Candlebox. In 1993, every record label scrambled to sign the next Seattle grunge sensation. The self-titled Candlebox debut went 4 times platinum on the strength of Far Behind, a power ballad that dominated rock radio and MTV. Despite actually being from Seattle, critics immediately labeled them shameless grunge copycats jumping on the bandwagon without any original ideas. Far Behind became a massive rock radio hit, making them temporarily unavoidable. They disappeared from mainstream rock by the late 90s, unable to recapture their initial breakthrough success. Their second album, Lucy, went gold, but represented a significant decline from platinum-level sales. Subsequent releases generated zero cultural impact. Music historians dismissed them as grunge-era filler, derivative post-grunge that diluted Seattle's original innovation. The band continued releasing albums to complete indifference, playing small clubs for dwindling audiences. They represent everything critics hated about commercial grunge exploitation. Number 4. Crash Test Dummies.
Let there be a day just for big.
The Canadian band built their entire career around one inescapably bizarre novelty song. became one of the most omnipresent tracks of early 1994, peaking at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 and dominating alternative rock radio. The God Shuffled His Feet album went double platinum in the United States and sold over 8 million copies worldwide, with the quirky track playing constantly on MTV. Lead singer Brad Roberts' unnaturally deep bass baritone voice made them instantly recognizable, but ultimately one-dimensional.
The people sip their wine, and what with God.
Music critics widely dismissed them as a novelty act with no substance beyond the gimmick. After 1994, they completely fell off the cultural map in the United States. Follow-up albums generated zero commercial interest, and American audiences forgot they existed.
His hair had turned from black into bright white.
They retained minor cult popularity in Canada, but vanished entirely from U.S. consciousness. The band is remembered solely for that one peculiar song, the definition of a 90s novelty one-hit wonder that disappeared after their 15 minutes expired.
He said that it was from when the cars had smashed his soul.
Number 3. The Verve. Bittersweet Symphony became one of 1997's most iconic songs, with its soaring strings and Richard Ashcroft's dramatic vocals making it an instant classic. The Urban Hymns album sold over 10 million copies worldwide, dominating alternative rock and launching the British band to international superstardom.
My friend and me looking through her red box of memories.
They seemed positioned for a legendary career trajectory similar to Radiohead or Oasis. The band imploded and broke up in April 1999, just 2 years after their breakthrough. Internal conflicts revealed they were essentially a one-album wonder incapable of sustaining success. They briefly reformed between 2007 and 2009, releasing the album Fourth, but the reunion generated minimal cultural impact. Ashcroft pursued a solo career that found moderate success in the UK, where his debut album reached number 1, but he never matched the global reach of Urban Hymns. The Verve remains largely irrelevant today despite that one massive song, proving commercial success and artistic sustainability are different things.
Faded on shore, but love seems to stick in a vein.
Number 2. Silverchair. Just 15 years old, the Australian trio released Frog Stomp in 1995 and became international rock stars virtually overnight. The As of Rishi album went double platinum in the United States, with Tomorrow becoming the most played song on U.S. modern rock radio that year.
You gotta wait till bad boy, wait till
Music magazines plastered their teenage faces everywhere, marketing them as grunge's teenage prodigies. Their youth and the Seattle-influenced sound generated massive initial hype and commercial success. The critics savaged them as derivative Nirvana knockoffs who only succeeded because of their age and looks. Tomorrow sounded nearly identical to Nirvana's grunge template, leading to accusations of shameless imitation. American audiences completely forgot about them by the late 1990s, though they retained massive popularity in Australia. The band went on indefinite hiatus in 2011 after minimal U.S. cultural presence beyond their initial breakthrough. They represent overrated hype over substance, teenagers who briefly captured attention before everyone realized they brought nothing new to the table. Number 1. Marcy Playground. Sex and Candy absolutely dominated alternative rock radio and MTV throughout 1997 and 1998, spending 15 weeks at number 1 on the modern rock chart. The track peaked at number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100, becoming one of the era's most recognizable songs with its vaguely trippy lyrics and hypnotic chorus.
Joe, he said he's never been just like a woman.
Self-titled debut album went platinum, and frontman John Wozniak briefly seemed like alternative rock's next big thing. Radio could not stop playing it.
Yeah, mama, this surely is a dream. Take it on.
But the band was immediately dismissed as a one-trick vanity project with zero depth beyond that single catchy hook. Critics panned them as derivative without the creativity or talent to sustain a career.
And Mary says they have the darkness.
They never produced another notable song and completely vanished from the music scene within 2 years. Marcy Playground became the textbook definition of a 90s one-hit wonder, where everyone remembers the song, but nobody remembers the band.
I smell sexy, can't live here.
They represent peak 90s alternative rock oversaturation, where labels threw anything at the wall and briefly made stars of mediocre artists before audiences moved on.